Good morning, everyone. Today I am in Sullivan County, Pennsylvania, in the Loyalsock Forest. And I'm hiking a trail which I believe will take us to the Haystack, rocks, and Dutchman's Falls. That's not the official name of the trail. But I think they are two things that we are going to see. But as you can see, this is really rocky. I came prepared to do a little bit of a trail run, but that is not going to happen. These rocks are slippery as well. It's been raining a lot recently. So this trail is a little bit off the beaten path. I did a little bit of research just to find out about it, but it's pretty remote. And I am hiking this solo today, so if you watch my videos, you know I tend to get lost a lot. So I did put it in my navigation watch where I parked, so we should have no problem finding our way back. And I believe it is a 7.2 mile trail. So far, it's beautiful. And I haven't seen anybody else on the trail. So I believe we should be following these yellow blazes. And I'm really hoping this is well marked. And I also have to turn the camera off occasionally because a lot of times when I'm talking on the camera, I'm really not paying attention to where I'm going. And you can see, so there are yellow blazes, but you could see how you could get lost out here for a while. I don't normally like to do these type of hikes by myself. But I wanted to get out there today, and none of my friends were really into hiking today. I guess I'm with my friends, right? I'm with you. Well, that's well marked, so that's a good thing. All right, and it almost appears as if we're going to get on to more of a flat trail here. Okay, so Haystacks and Dutchman's Falls. So I kind of want to see both. It appears as if the Haystacks are this way and Dutchman Falls is this way. So what do we do? I think I'm going to start towards Dutchman's Falls. Which I'm thinking might be down here, because I see a drop-off on the water. So I'm actually off trail right now, but I had to come down and check this out because this is beautiful. So you can see this stonework was built up, I guess to direct the water underneath what must have been a build-up trail. And I really don't know the history of this place, so I'm definitely going to be putting some notes on the bottom. See if we can get a closer look at this. This is very, very cool. So I'm gonna work my way back up. As I said before, you could probably get lost down here really easily, so I don't want to stray too far from the trail. I'm gonna work my way back up to the trail, and start moving towards what I believe will be Dutchman's Falls. So now I am seeing blue blazes, but so far very well marked Dutchman's Falls. So I believe we want to head this way. I have to say, I couldn't pick a better day. It's got to be maybe low 60s right now. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. And I think it's going up to a high of 71. So as far as hiking or trail running, this is like the perfect weather. So the trail wants me to go this way, and that'll probably give us a good view of Dutchman's Falls, but I kind of think this is it right here. Oh my God, or at least it's part of it, because it looks like there's another huge drop off there. But while I'm up here, let's check out this portion of the falls. Surprised I'm able to get as close to this as I am. I didn't realize. I was thinking about coming here, I think back in like February in the winter time, and everything I was reading saying it was really dangerous. And I guess that could be the case because it would be really slippery, but this was very easy access. Of course, I'm not on the trail because I want to get a view from the top. And I do need to be careful as I get a little closer here, but oh my God. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do now, I think I'm gonna go back up here and get on that trail, and that will take us hopefully down here, so we'll get a good view of the falls. And as I just said that, I decided to work my way down here before getting back on the trail, because I'm kind of thinking the trail is not going to get us as close as just kind of working my way down this pretty steep hill. Taking my time, but oh my God, this is way more beautiful than I had expected. I'm not sure what creek that is, but I want to say it's the Loyalsock Creek, which would make sense, right? We're in the Loyalsock Forest, but not 100% sure. But look at that beautiful waterfall. I want to try to get a really good shot from in front of the waterfall. And if you stick to the trail, you're all the way up there, so there's no way you're going to get it, or maybe you're on the other side of the creek. So I'm going to try to make my way across some of these rocks. So that was not easy getting back up the hill. I actually slipped, almost twisted my ankle, but I'm okay. So I am headed back up to the main part of the trail. Primarily what I wanted to see were the Haystack rocks. They're a series of rocks that I guess are in the middle of the creek, and it makes for some pretty cool looking rapids. And I wanted to see Dutchman's Falls, which, to be honest with you, I had no idea we would find that so easily. I kind of thought you had to hike to it. I'm guessing this is the rail bed, and I didn't realize that either, but there must have been a railroad line here, which makes sense. Probably for the timber industry. And you might remember we were down here looking at how the water went under the rail bed. So why would they have even built something like that if there wasn't a railway? So there's the initial sign, Haystacks, LT, I don't know what that, I guess Loyalsock Trail, which I think the Loyalsock Trail is like a 60-70 mile trail. I think a lot of people backpack throughout this area. So maybe we just take a quick look at the falls from this side as well while we're here. Or maybe not. I always tend to go off trail, and I try and do too much, and then I don't see everything I want to see. So I think I'm just going to get back on trail and find the haystacks. We have to come back this way anyway, so we can always look at the falls from the other side on the way back. I believe we're going to be traveling about 7 miles today, so I probably should keep moving. Just some beautiful moss on these rocks. I ran into a woman who was walking her dog down here, and she said there is a lower trail that I'm gonna have to get to if we want to see the haystacks. But she said walk down here a ways and just keep looking over, you'll see it. I say that I'll see it, so I'm really not sure what I'm gonna see. I did see a quick video on this, and I believe they're just like huge rocks that look like haystacks, hence the name Haystacks. And I was doing a little bit of reading on my phone. This was, I guess all of this was lumbered at one time. From what I understand, the haystack rocks would always create a log jam, and they tried blowing them up several times with dynamite, and I guess they weren't successful, but it always would create a log jam. Very muddy along this rail trail. I don't really want to stay on this trail. I didn't wear hiking boots, but I have what I would call trail running sneakers, or trail running shoes. So, I just got my feet wet. Like I said, it's a good thing it's going to be 70 degrees today because my feet are already soaking wet, and I did not bring a spare pair of socks. It's always a good idea to bring that when you go on a little hiking adventure. So I did grab this little map on my way in, so maybe that'll explain how to get down to the Haystack Rapids. Let's hope so, right? Okay, so just as I was going to just kind of work my way down, straight down a hill, I came upon this, which says Haystacks. So kudos to the folks that mark these trails. I didn't realize this was going to be so easy. But I will say this, you could walk right by this post because the yellow blazes continued this way. I could absolutely walk right by this because usually when I'm talking into my camera, I'm really not paying attention as much as I should. But I happen to have my camera off, so we are in luck. So let's head down this way and see what these Haystack Rapids are all about. Okay, so here we are coming up to the rapids. That water's moving pretty fast. You can see how they would send the logs down the creek. And they'd be moving pretty fast at this point, but I think we're going to come to an area where they would get jammed up. That's just a beautiful picture. So there is a little rock beach down here I want to check out. Maybe just sit down here for a little while. Now, if that's not beautiful, I don't know what is. That is just a gorgeous picture. So we are going to work our way downstream. There's a tricky little stream we have to find a way across. I jump over there, I'm gonna get soaked. Let's see if we can do this. Got some rocks. And again, that's normally... Yeah, I got a little wet. I was gonna say that's normally how I kind of get my feet wet, is because I'm trying to step on rocks and then the rocks are slippery, whereas if I just took the shortest part of the creek, or not creek, stream, and just kind of jumped over it, I'd probably be okay. Coming up on another stream. See if we can do this without wetting our feet. But you know, I really don't care, because I totally stepped into the creek earlier, not the creek, but I totally stepped into the stream and my feet are wet. Now my feet are dry already, so. Most important thing is I don't slip on one of these rocks. Twist an ankle, because I saw some people when we first entered the trail, but I hadn't seen anybody in a while. So I would not want to get stuck down here. For my backpacking friends, this would probably be a nice trail to plan to hike the entire thing. I'm guessing maybe two nights. maybe 3. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how many miles this trail is, but wow, that's kind of cool. Looks like a little ledge down here. I need to go down there. Like a rock ledge. I gotta go down there without slipping. So nice, right along this bank. Look at that. And then you have like a island of rocks out there in the middle. You probably can't see it, but then the stream is moving really fast, or the creek, I should say, is moving really fast on the other side of those rocks. So my battery died, and I just sat down here to change my battery, and wouldn't you know, and I don't have it on video, I'm sorry, but right over there, a bald eagle flew with a fish in its mouth, right across the creek, not far from me. I mean, my GoPro would have even picked it up. And to be honest with you, I get really excited if I see a bald eagle because, oh God, I'm gonna sound really stupid here, but I had no idea there were bald eagles in Pennsylvania years ago. In fact, I think they were extinct in Pennsylvania at one time, or pretty close to it. I know when I was a child back in the 70s, there were no bald eagles anywhere near where I lived, which was Philadelphia. So I always wanted to see a bald eagle, but I always thought you had to go out west to see them. But I have seen a few here in Pennsylvania. But we almost got one on video, which would have been really cool. It flew right out of here and flew right downstream. So I wanted to show you this too. Look at the way this tree is just growing right over this huge rock and then straight up. And that looks like a very healthy, powerful tree. I just think that is so cool how it can be rooted here, just curl over this boulder and go straight up. As I've said hundreds of times, nature's pretty amazing. All right, so we are definitely moving away from the creek along the Loyalsock Trail. And I don't really know how much further I'm gonna go because this isn't making sense to me. And that stupid map that I got doesn't really tell you how far you have to go to find the haystacks. This trail keeps moving away from the creek. I'm not going to continue on this direction because it doesn't really make any sense. Beautiful. If I had food, water, and a tent, maybe I would continue on. So I do still see the creek, so I think I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm hoping this trail curls back towards the creek. So anyway. Okay, so this does appear to be headed back towards the creek, so hopefully we are still on the right trail. All right, so we're up pretty high. You can see we're at a pretty high elevation looking down on the creek, but I do hear rapids and the trail appears to be headed towards the creek again. So I gotta be honest with you people, I'm so ready to give up, but I've been on these type of adventures before, and right when I'm ready to give up is when I find what I was looking for. So, and I know I'm gonna see this in the comments, and you're right, I probably should have researched how far Dutchman's Falls are from the haystacks. Then I would know. I would be like, okay, so I've gone 4 miles, but it's a little further. All right, so thank goodness I ran into a few hikers and they told me we are really close, so. Crazy Jen really was gonna turn around. I already had the name of my thumbnail. It was gonna be like failed hike. So anyway. I think we are close, people. Hey, even if we had not found these, or even if, well, we didn't find it yet, but even if I weren't to find the haystacks, this has really been an enjoyable hike. Couldn't think of a better place to be this time of year. I would say this is a definite must hike if you're someone who hikes in Pennsylvania. It's a bit of a technical trail, but to me, that's what keeps it interesting. The more you have to think about where you're stepping, in so many ways, to me, the hike is actually more relaxing. Because what am I trying to say? It keeps my mind off whatever I was trying to keep my mind off before coming out hiking. Hiking is therapy for me, people. So, I'm not sure. I guess this is the trail. All right, I think we're here. I think we are approaching. This, my friends, I believe, are the haystacks. Wow, check that out. So you can imagine how frustrating it must have been for the timber companies when they were trying to move the logs down the creek. All this is coming straight down. You're moving all these logs down here, then you absolutely have a log jam. So I'm thinking they must have built something here at one time or had people working here trying to redirect the logs through this section. Now that's a pretty big, I don't know if I can make it over there. I don't think I can, unfortunately. But maybe we can work our way over here and somehow get over closer that way. This is so impressive. Oh my God. Oh my God, just look at that. I'm really glad I didn't turn around. I swear to you, I was so close to just saying, oh, we must have passed it already. This is so cool. Pennsylvania at its finest. So I'm going to get out a camera that I can do a little bit of zooming with. I really hope my camera's doing this justice, because I gotta tell you, I could stay here all day. This, to me, I love this. It's just something so soothing about rushing water. I think what I'm going to do is backtrack just to be safe. And with that, I think I'm going to end my video here. So thank you so much for joining me. If you could give it a like, that actually really helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much, and you have a great afternoon. Take care, everybody.